I mean, the way how I DJ is not the common sense of what a DJ does in many people's, minds. It's like I'm not playing two records and mix them together. Basically, I have two computer setups on stage. They synchronized with each other and linked. I have MIDI keyboards with MIDI controller keyboards on stage. So I'm playing a lot of live things. And of course, when you see something is really going off, when you play it in front of your audience, why not actually take that experience and actually put it into the production back in the studio? And it's a lot of, it influences each other. What I do here, obviously, I play out and I see the reaction, then I change something if needed, or I enhance certain elements of the tracks that I, saw have a big impact. When you play some big chords and, you get goosebumps yourself when you see the reaction, you remember those chords. Well, we have around 110, 120 gigs a year.
Right.
So everything in between is down in the studio. Well, I just finished Cream Ibiza Anthems mix compilation. That's something I did on the DJ end. I also work on a chill out compilation right now. Another thing is we do the mix downs for a few of our artists on our label, and basically preparing, writing new tracks for the next artist album. This is like a very special sort of setup I have here that sort of is targeting exactly the way how I work and how I like to work. And but everything is assembled, mixed, recorded, composed here in the studio. In terms of recording, producing music, I use Logic. I think I use Logic since about '95. All the studios use Logic as well, so it's easy to collaborate with other people and to just go with your work into another studio and have it mixed down, as an example, because they're gonna have the software. I heard about Euphonics about 1.5 years ago at the Winter Music Conference in Miami. I did a Logic session where I sort of basically in front of an audience showed them how I remixed the Justin Timberlake track. And Euphonics had a little presentation in the corner, and I was always kind of, wow, that's a machine, that's really good, And the guy who was actually presenting it, it's like, I got into a little conversation and he explained to what it does, and I was like, very interested in the product. A little bit later, I had my own machine. The computers they are out, they're so powerful right now, so it makes a lot of sense to have a native system and basically have, the mixing desk becoming somewhat like an oversized remote control for it, so you have the feeling for it. But then again, the computer, enables you to do all the mixing basically inside. A special setup in this studio is actually that every single channel has its own digital analog converter. So it goes out digitally, then is mixed down analog, and then comes back. This is why this studio has a certain punch that if it would be purely digital, it wouldn't have. So, when I saw this oversized remote control, I was totally blown away because of all the gadgets you have. It's just absolutely fantastic. You just go to a channel strip, open it, get the cues, get stuff, and you have like the real feel of one of those big mixing desks. And at the same time, it's all total recall and all that stuff. It's just great. The thing I just don't like working with a mouse or a trackball all the time. It's like it is making music, and it is basically, when I mix down a track, I start with the drums. I sort of lay out a certain sort of setup of the drums, and if I imagine I would sort of, set the level with the mouse, it just wouldn't feel right. I don't know. Music has a lot to do with feel, and in order to actually mix it down properly, I just need something like this. This machine is as well, it's, with the possibilities it gives you, it even has an input on the creativity you put into the production. Because, suddenly you see something, it's like, yeah, let's try, Obviously, it doesn't help with the general idea. You have to be creative and have that idea, but it helps you to nail it down right away and then enhance the idea into a full, track. It really enables you to be creative, and it also, because of the possibility the machine has, it gives you a grip on creativity.
Has it changed the way you work?
It definitely has, because, if you just like check out one of those channel strips, the possibilities you have just on working on an individual channel and having the feel for it just gives it something. We don't have any automation going, first of all. Most of the time I start with a piano and string layer, because that gives, in terms of composing, at least for me, the most atmospherical groundwork. And then I start playing around till I have some chords, till I have a melody that really, I believe is worth something. And then, I continue from there, go ahead and, construct some drums with it, and basically go from, left to right. The left-hand side is usually, first of all, audio instruments, and the right-hand side is audio. And then, of course, because of like the nudge functions, I can actually go through all the different, layers of the desk, really. And then I just construct a track from there, and then obviously all the filtering and all that, that comes after pretty much the arrangement is done. It is a question of how does the bass drum sound compared to the bass line. So obviously you need to go into EQing and see, do they work together? Then we go into automation, and then you see the faders moving up and down on its own. I take the tracks live on the road, and I see, okay, this fader situation isn't right. It's like the bass line should, filter away earlier or later. And after I did those adjustments, this is when pretty much I work on a track till I feel it's coming across exact the way how I want it to be. And when I feel it's coming across, then it's done. Well, as I said before, I was absolutely amazed when I, saw this machine the first time. And ever since I have it, I'm very pleased with it, and I'm glad it's here in the studio and it's helping me making records.